Yes, you're in the new Providence, where niggas get to snapping like they got no common sense. When we approach with confidence, revoking confidence. His offense stiff enough to throw the hardest to the fence. The rawest what he is, you can't stop it like jail runs. And ain't no topping him, he's opposite of well done. Rare without care, put clocks on the line. Comfortable with my flow, it's like I got Crocs on my rhymes. No, rocket science, fuck the
Yo, it's FO. We back in the building, baby. We about to get this popping, man. Freaking Cody's asking for the bucket list. Jay Reeves told me to go to the opinion pieces.
Let's do the
Just about
opinion.
to freestyle of this shit. You know
Let's
what I'm
do
saying?
it.
You say you wanted to get some shit off, so we gonna get some shit off. We here with what's buzzing with Mr. Honey. I am Mr. Honey, and man, what is buzzing with me is obviously speaking about future, man. We got to go ahead and predict this out, man. Like, is Matthew Stafford going to be a Hall of Fame player after his Super Bowl win? I don't know if you guys seen what Richard Sherman said, but he tweeted this after all the Hall of Fame talk of Matthew Stafford on Monday, and it said, I'm going to talk about it on the podcast, but the Hall of Fame bar is incredibly low now, like a participation trophy. No all-decade team, no all-pro, no MVP, only one Pro Bowl, not even an MVP of his Super Bowl, never considered the best player in any year that he played. At least Matt Ryan has an MVP. Richard Sherman is showing that, is throwing that shade. Silly C, can you enlighten us and kind of let us know where Sherman was coming from? Is Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer or not?
In my mind, I think if we talk about it right now today, he has done enough to be a Hall of Famer. He's sitting right now at just under 50,000 passing yards. He's with a 63% passing completion percentage. But then when we go into some of the people that are currently in the Hall of Fame, Jim Kelly is in the Hall of Fame with 35,000 passing yards.
But he won games. He won playoff games.
Yeah, but in that case, Matthew Stafford played for the Lions, who didn't win one game one year. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, he didn't really have a team. Troy Aikman literally has 32,000 yards. Some of these people, they didn't win because of themselves. They had some extremely good talent on their teams. So right now, I say yes, Matthew Stafford. And he's above the average Hall of Fame quarterback in his stats just now.
Yeah, but Matthew Stafford has never been considered one of the top 5 quarterbacks of his era. He had that one good year with Calvin Johnson, and maybe then he probably creeped up to top 5-ish, but he's never been considered to be the best. And isn't that what the Hall of Fame is? You bring up dysfunction. I'm going to ask Jay Reeves, is Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer, or is he a function of the dysfunction of the Detroit Lions?
Well, man, let me just break it down for you. If he walked away from the game right now, Matthew Stafford is not considered in my book a Hall of Famer. But he is 34 years old. Let's just say Matthew Stafford plays 4 or 5 more years. Has a couple pretty good seasons, throwing for, let's say, 4,000, a couple 5,000 yards, maybe 25 touchdowns each season. He goes to the playoffs at least 1 or 2 more times. He gets his team pretty deep in the playoffs. That would leave Matthew Stafford sitting at probably like 5th on the list for passing yards and 5th on the list for passing touchdowns. And that, my friend, would have to definitely put him in the Hall of Fame. But he needs to build his resume a little bit more.
Yeah, one thing I just question is he is he an asset or is he a liability? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes with Stafford, he kind of seems like a liability. He threw 2 interceptions every playoff game this year. I think he led the regular season in interception, if I'm not mistaken. And, hasn't really proved to have the decision making. Now, he has proved that he has a team around him to make up for some of them poor decisions, but I'm not sure if he is. And I think if he called it today, and that's when what Sherman was responding to is everybody say he should be a Hall of Famer today. If he called it today, no, Matthew Stafford is not a Hall of Famer. He had 1 year when he verged on top 5 quarterback, and I know the numbers are inflated, but, he played with Calvin Johnson for 8 years and then was able to get a lot done. But I really don't want to hear that dysfunction stuff because Mitchell Trubisky prior to this year had more playoff wins. He had like a couple more playoff wins had Parquet not missed that field goal. And then you got Baker Mayfield, who's overcome that. His opponent in the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow, he's a product of dysfunction, and look at how he thrived, and he got his team to the Super Bowl, even with a poor offensive line. So I don't want to hear that offensive line stuff. I think his team was just a more talented team in a number of occasions, including the playoffs, and it took him all the way, but I'm not sure he's a Hall of Fame quarter that could take them all the way. Cody, you're asking for a screen share. Did you want to show something, or?
Oh, well, because you were saying that he turned the ball over a lot. So I was just kind of showing you some of the quarterbacks on the list, and the ones that are in bold, are in the Hall of Fame currently. And as we go up this list, you can see quite a bit of some names up this list that actually turned the ball over more than him. And then when you actually look at yardage, Stafford's got, and touchdowns, 323 touchdowns. He's better than Warren Moon, Tarkenton, Fouts, Montana, United.
Oh my goodness, Cody.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, saying, but they never had a Megatron. They never had any system like that. Like freaking, this is a whole different era. You're talking about a whole different player, and a player who played in this era who's never been respected as one of the greats. Why should he go in the Hall of Fame? If